A million thoughts started to race through Quinn's mind. Had they found out about his ability? Were they going to force him to give it up and hand it over? Or had the loop informed them that he had killed Brandon, and they were now going to punish him for it? Although Quinn was trying the best to calm down, it was nearly impossible. As he sat in his seat, he could feel his heart beating as if it was trying to escape from his chest. "Boy, calm down," Leo said. "I think even the others can hear your heartbeat." "Now, before we begin, I would like to inform you of a few things," the sergeant said. "A student by the name of Brandon Richardson has passed away recently. Now, your teacher here has informed me that he and another student named Fei Lan had attacked you during combat classes yesterday. Now, not only has one of the students passed away, but Fei was also admitted to the hospital late last night." So it was something to do with Brandon's death after all. "We currently have no leads to what happened to Brandon, so that eventually led us to you. Although it's hard to believe someone with no ability like you could do something like this, there is always a way. The woman sitting opposite you here has the ability to detect whether someone is telling the truth or not. Now, please proceed with her demands." "It's okay," the lady said. "I just need you to place your hand over mine." As Quinn placed his hand over hers, he suddenly felt a calming feeling enter his body. "An ability has been detected. Unable to block the user's ability." "Now tell me, did you kill Brandon Richardson last night?" she asked. The calming feeling allowed Quinn to answer naturally. He felt like he was suddenly floating on top of clouds. "No, I did not." The woman carried on holding Quinn's hand and eventually let go. "He's telling the truth." "As said, I couldn't believe he would do something like this," Leo said. "I mean, how would it even be possible? He's only a level 1. "It looks like we no longer have any leads. It's a shame, but an accident like this happens from time to time. It is expected," the sergeant said. "I'm sorry for wasting your time. Feel free to head back to class." With the questioning over, the two guards grabbed Leo and Quinn by the arm once again, and a few moments later were teleported back to the weapons hall. "Boy, your heartbeat was starting to give me doubts that you were hiding something," said Leo. "But I'm glad you were not the culprit. Otherwise I would have lost a promising student." With that said, Leo started to walk around the room and give advice out to the other students. That's when Layla had come over to where Quinn was. "What happened? Is everything okay?" "Yeah, it seems like it will be for now at least," Quinn replied. Quinn explained to Layla what had happened after the integration. At first, she was even shocked to hear that Brandon had died, but was happy to find out that Quinn was now completely cleared of suspicion. But as she thought about it more, she started to think who in their right mind would be crazy enough to kill a student, and for what reason. "Hey, Quinn, you might not like what I'm about to say, but do you think maybe Vorden did it?" "What makes you say that? Did something happen between Vorden and Brandon?" "No, I mean, is it not strange that Vorden approached you in the first place? He's a level 5 user, while you're just a level 1, and when he attacked me the other day, he kept shouting about you. And trust me, the guy seems crazy enough to do something like that." "Really? But why? It's not like me and Vorden have known each other for long. Do you really think anyone would go to the extreme just for something like this?" "Yeah, even if I do think he's crazy, I don't think he's that crazy." With that, the two continued to practice their combat classes. Although Quinn was trying his best to learn the hammer strike move, he couldn't concentrate. He kept thinking about the words that Layla had said. Right now, there were no suspects to Brandon's death, and Vorden had acted oddly at times. And the last thing was the fact that Vorden wasn't in his room when Quinn arrived back last night. Just what was he doing so late? As the combat classes had ended, Layla and Quinn decided to hang out with each other for a while. There were a few tests both of them wanted to do with Quinn's ability. Quinn wanted to find a way to stop the sun from affecting him and learn about it more, while Layla wanted to see if there was any way she could be turned into a vampire. But as they walked out of the weapons hall and out onto the ground floor, them and several other first-year students had been stopped. The people stopping them were second-year students, and they had asked all the first-year students to gather at the assembly hall. "Just what is going on?" Layla said. "I have no idea," Quinn replied. Of course, the second-year students were powerful, and the first-year students had no choice but to agree. Even the higher power levels had agreed to come, afraid something might happen. Around 100 of the first-year students had gathered in the assembly hall. Around them was not a single teacher, but just several of the second-year students. Up on the stage, the curtains were drawn, and in front of it stood Momo. "Welcome, every single one of you," Momo said. "Today we have a special event. A special message to all you first years. You see, there has been someone going around trying to go against us, thinking he can break the previous system that has been around for years in this school. I am here to tell you that this is what happens to those who do not obey." Momo pulled down on a piece of string, and the curtains on the stage started to open up. As the curtains moved away slowly, it started to reveal a student who had been tied up and placed on a large piece of wood. The student was bloody and had markings of being beaten everywhere. "Vorden?" Quinn said. As the curtains were drawn, a badly beaten-up Vorden was on display, tied to a large wooden plank. Both of his hands were slotted into holes, while his body was made to stand, and it looked like his legs were wired down by some type of ability. Just then several of the second-year students pulled out carts that seemed to be filled with large black circular stones. Momo picked up one of the round balls and held it in his hand. "This here is a metal ball that has been embedded with the power of a beast crystal," said Momo. "When the Earth had found a way to mix the beast crystal with our own weapons, it was a turning point in the war. But what they don't teach you as first years is that beast weapons need to be activated with your ability. Once activated, they can give out extra power. The higher the beast crystal used to make the weapon, the higher the power." Quinn, watching the whole thing, couldn't help but look at the badly beaten-up Vorden. He was wondering how on earth Momo could stand there and talk so casually, as if he was giving a presentation to the whole class. "So us second years have decided to give you from the beast weapons class, and some of you other first-year students, a shortcut. Today, we will show you how to activate a beast weapon using these balls." That's when a first-year student raised his hand to ask a question. Excuse me, but does any of the teachers know about this?" For a moment there was silence. Even the first-years couldn't believe why someone would ask that in this situation. It was obvious that this was being done behind the teachers' backs. Then a second-year student had come from the side of the assembly hall and immediately punched the student who asked the question in the face. The second-year student repeatedly punched the person until he eventually passed out. "Are there any more questions?" Momo asked. The first-year students stood there silent in fear. They didn't want to say anything, especially after they had seen what happened to the boy who had just asked a question. "Good," Momo said before continuing. "Now to explain. These beast stones here were made with the purpose to help you activate your equipment. So to be honest, they're quite useless, but they are handy for demonstrating. Just like when you activate your ability in your body, you need to concentrate on the ball in front of you. Think of it as a part of your body and focus your ability on it." The stone ball being held in Momo's hand suddenly went from a black to a green color. Now, usually your weapons wouldn't change color when activated, but as I said earlier, these balls are you just for the sake of helping you learn how to activate your weapons. Once the color is changed, that means it has been activated and its strength is increased. Now today we will be practicing target hitting. The second-year students then moved Vorden down from the stage and onto the floor with the other first-year students. "The board here is special, you see. Even a bullet wouldn't be able to penetrate through it. Only the power of a beast weapon can. So today's lesson is to throw the ball and hit the target. Simple, right?" "What, is this really allowed?" a student asked. "And what do they mean by the target? The board, it's so thin. They're basically telling us to hit him. Won't we get into trouble for doing something like this?" "What do you mean? The teachers don't care when we get beat before. Why would they care about something like this now? The second years are only doing this because they know they can get away with it. They have been here longer than us." Momo started to look at the crowd when his eyes finally had met with Quinn's. "Oh, I almost forgot. The crazy boy here has been targeting us second years one by one, thinking we wouldn't notice. Not only did he not heed our warning, but he completely ignored it and came after us. We dealt with him in this very hall back then, but he still didn't listen. Now, this is a warning to you all. This is what happens to those who try to disrupt the flow in school." The second years then poured out the crates of black beast stones. They all fell out and rolled onto the ground floor. There were more than enough stones there for each student to throw at least one ball at Vorden. "Now, who wants to go first?" one of the second students said. "Hurry now. If no one wants to volunteer, then I will just have to pick one of you." As expected, not a single person had volunteered. The students were cruel to those who were weaker to them, but not like this. Usually, it would be a case of just better treatment, but it seemed like the second years were targeting Vorden. Whatever Vorden had done, he really had annoyed them. "All right then, you, the girl with the brown hair, you go first," the second-year student said as he put one of the balls in her hand. I can't," she said. "Really? Well, if you can't, then we have no choice," Momo said. Two of the second-year students went ahead and grabbed the female by her arms and spread her out. She struggled to break free and was wondering if she should use her ability. The girl started to look around to her side to see if anyone, a single person, would stand up for her, but they all looked away, trying to avoid eye contact. Momo picked up one of the balls, and it started to light up green. "What's with you first years? When we ask you to do something, then you need to do it." The ball flew out of his hand and managed to hit the girl dead in the stomach, although Momo was careful not to use his full strength. "Get her out of here," Momo said. "Next!" The next student was a male. He had the ability level of 2.5, but when he held the ball, it managed to change in color, activating the beast core's powers. Unlike the female, the boy didn't hesitate. He had more time to think about what he needed to do. He threw the ball hard, and the ball managed to hit Vorden straight in the stomach. The impact was hard, and Vorden coughed out blood all over the floor. "You see that? Now that was perfect. That is exactly how everyone should throw the ball." Layla and Quinn had been at the back this whole time, watching everything. As they were one of the last ones to enter the room, and even though Layla had her grudges against Vorden, she knew this wasn't right. "Those bastards! How could they do something like that? Quinn, go call Leo. If it's him, he might stop this mess." But as Layla turned around to look at where Quinn was, he was nowhere to be seen. "Pick me. I don't mind having a little try," Quinn said with a smile, standing at the front of the students. Just what was the crazy boy thinking? Layla was stunned as she watched Quinn.
Subscribe to the Pocket FM Blockbuster YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notifications. Check out our channel for more exciting shows.